Okay, this exhibition shows the results of the research made about the origin and development of the spatial archetype of a tripartite home with an intermediate hall in England and Bogota in different eras. There's three different areas that is structured. This, the genealogy about the English house between centuries 14 and 19, variations over the Bogota house of English style between 1930 and 1950, and also the interpretations about the Bogota modern house between 45 and 1965. In the three different areas, we had some panels of the exhibition where we emphasize a graphical comparison analysis and representations of the houses following the intermediate hall as a cross section. John, can you please comment about the museography of this exhibition? You have the floor.
Thank you, Andres. I'd like to just begin by saying how grateful I am to be invited to speak here today. It's a huge pleasure. Um, about the museography of this display, it strikes me as someone who hasn't seen it in the flesh. I haven't actually been in the building to look around it. It's been fascinating to look at the presentation technologically through this wonderful 360-degree tour that has been put together. Um, Judging it through that and also the catalogue, which is very fulsomely produced and beautifully illustrated, and the illustrations I feel and the clarity with which this material is presented is not only exemplary, but is also important because it's a very formal analysis of a particular building type. And it requires that clarity, I think, of presentation to make sense of it. So I welcome very much this means of presenting the material, and I think it's very interesting. I mean, I tend to go around houses of many different dates, and here it's very interesting to be forced to stop and think about them in quite an abstract way, namely in plan, which is something, of course, technically you always need to see a plan of a building, but it's not the way you necessarily experience it. So it's very interesting to see that this material is susceptible to this kind of formal analysis. And I think that the exposition is very clear and thought-provoking. I think that, as we'll come across in discussion, I think there are definitely areas where there are complications to how you can't necessarily boil things down in that way. But it is a really interesting intellectual exercise, beautifully produced.